So I want to attach this sprocket and hub to this bicycle tire, and the actual directions was to hook it up on this side, but you weren't allowed to have any gears, and I didn't want to sacrifice the quality of my bicycle and bring it down to a single geared speed, so I opted to put it on this side and tack weld it. But if I use my stick welder on this thin weld hub, I imagined that I would have blown a hole in it. So I got the idea to use some MIG wire. Now, at this point right now, I don't have a MIG welder, and I'm not opting to buy one with this virus scare going on and no employment. So I'm going about this, try to go about this as cheaply as possible. I already got the parts for an electric bike before this virus is ever an issue. So I wanted to do some practice welds, and I set this lithium battery up. This is going to be a 7S configuration, so it's a little more than 24 volts. And I did try different configurations. I set it up on the 21, and I also set it up on the 8S, which would be about 28 volts. And I really like this setting the best. But to be fair, when I first started welding, and it's always good if you're going to do something like this to do some practice runs before you use your final product, I made some big mistakes. And while we're being honest, let me just let you know, originally I put JB Weld in here and it didn't take at all. So this is probably the worst welding you'll ever get to see on YouTube. Initially, see how bad this is, a lot of popping and spattering. Initially, when I used this negative electrode here, I left too much wire sticking out, even long strands of wire, because this stuff will burn off pretty quick. And eventually, through trial and error, I got to be doing some welds like this, some small tack welds. There's another one, here's another one, here's another one, here's another one, and they got to be better and better. That was because I ended up shortening the wire, and that didn't allow this thing to act as a fuse. It burned off awfully quick, and I had to adjust it a lot. Without having the benefits of the MIG machine, I had to do this manually. So this steel is pretty thin. I want you to see some of the holes. There's one right there. There's a very small one right there. Right below that weld, there's a hole. So we definitely had to perfect this before moving on to our final product, and that's the bicycle tire. Before anyone asks, yes, I did use the negative lead to weld with, but one thing I did to ensure success as well was use this flux core welding wire. Now it's pretty thin. It's about half the size of a 1/16 of an inch, but it left me some pretty good results. Let me show you the final end result. Alright, so I would have loved to get you guys in here with me while I was doing this, but the nature of it didn't lend itself to much videotaping. But you can see we have these little tack welds, and I did this in small bursts. I would just let the electrode come close to it, and I wouldn't try to feed it much, just a little, and then I would stop. That allowed the wire to cool down and get ready for the next weld in succession. So you can see we've got some pretty good tacks going on here. I also didn't want to heat up the metal and warp it, and that's another reason I opted for just this micro tacking. We're going to go back through here and continue welding this in the spots in between. But I wanted to show you this can be done. And this is very thin walled material in this hub. And also had to work without much room. This is the side I had to access it from. And you know, this is zoomed in, so it looks a lot bigger than what it actually is. Trying to get the jump starter clamp in here with a small piece of wire and not hit this hub gear was quite the challenge. To set up a camera and try to film this and stay out of everyone's way would have been almost impossible. So I hope you can appreciate the work done here. And this is something that can be done on very thin steel without blowing a hole in it. But make sure you get plenty of practice in before doing so. So to get all this accomplished, we really only needed a high quality set of jumper cables and some flux core MIG welding wire. That allowed us for the smallest type of weld without blowing a hole in our thin walled tubular steel. We had a nice lithium battery, and the discharge rate on these things is incredibly high. Each one of these cells is 500 watts, and they can be charged in half an hour. And at 3 volts half an hour, you're talking about a lot of amps going in at one time. So the combination of these 4 cells, there's hardly any amperage being used when it's divided amongst the 4 of them. And also the fact that they're lithium lends themselves to not having any issue with the high amp draw. You're going to want to choke up on your negative electrode lead. You see I actually burned a hole in this a couple times. So make sure to stay away from your material, but you can only use at the most 5/8 of an inch wire sticking out of it. Anyway, hope that helps. Thanks for watching. See ya.